Altered Carbon is Netflix's big-budget step into cyberpunk sci-fi, but does it have the intellectual chops to rival its clear Blade Runner and Matrix influences? Set 300 years in the future, Altered Carbon portrays a world changed by a technology which means death is no longer permanent. Consciousness can be digitized and placed into stacks which can be transferred between human sleeves, with death only being permanent if the stack, the road beneath your neck, is smashed to bits. This, however, hasn't created the all-singing and dancing utopia which one dreams with immortality. Instead, the wealthy ruling classes have cornered this expensive technology, leaving the poor to suffer at the hands of the rich who can't afford the perks of eternal life. Within this backdrop, the mind of elite warrior Takeshi Kovacs Joel Kinnaman is revived into a new sleeve by wealthy meth lords Bancroft James Purefoy. Kovacs hopes for a free life, however, comes with the catch: he has to solve the murder of Bancroft himself. If it sounds daunting, the opening episode, directed by Game of Thrones Battle of the Bastards Mikael Saupink, does a remarkable job of setting up the world in a tightly woven ride. Fans of Blade Runner will take pleasure in its highly reminiscent dystopian city streets too, where poverty-stricken backstreets contrast with flashy holograms advertising seedy jerk-it-off clubs and battle-to-the-death fight domes. Whereas Blade Runner was a relatively cold beast, Altered Carbon thrives on duality. It pushes the concept of athleticism and chiseled good looks as, even more explicitly, a valuable commodity. Citizens gawp at Joel Kinnaman's ripped sleeve like a fresh motor in a car showroom, hoping, creepily, for their own chance to climb inside and reap its societal benefits. It's partly why Kinnaman's casting is an excellent masterstroke. While there'll be debate over whether it's whitewashing to replace Kovacs' original Asian actor Will Yun-Lee with white Kinnaman, it's a move which plays a crucial part of the story. To view this video, please enable JavaScript, and consider upgrading to a web browser that supports HTML5 video. When Kinnaman isn't strutting without any clothes, he's having the time of his eternal life via violent means. Through the sci-fi grandeur and complex questions around humanity, Altered Carbon never forgets to have fun. A spectacular closing sequence in the first episode blends brutal minigun blasts to swinging jazz, orchestrated by a hotel manager, Poe, who feels stripped from Wes Anderson's kookiest pages. In fact, the show takes flight when unhinged from its drab murder mystery plot. An early episode abandons the premise altogether and takes place in a virtual torture room designed for interrogation, where Kovacs is trapped inside an endless loop of horrors as he's mutilated in increasingly disturbing ways. It's an early highlight which echoes the best of Black Mirror, serving a small pocket of ingenuity in this wider universe. The series does, thankfully, adjust course from its opening mystery and its superior second half. Before this arrives, however, there's a general feeling the central plot is a disservice to its incredible world, getting bogged down in uninteresting threads which feel generic in comparison to the imagination in its darkest corners. The script, however, by Lyda Kalo-Grady's Avatar, Shutter Island, is thoughtful and sharp considering the challenges of having characters inside other bodies. Martha Higareda as police officer Kristen Ortega and Chris Connors Poe also give memorable counterweight performances to Kinnaman's cool, even if they often play second fiddle to the huge, sumptuous production. The scope in the sleeve-swapping premise feels, overall, a little shortchanged, but it's packed with possibilities for inevitable future seasons. Could it follow The Crown with entire cast swaps, make permanent jumps into virtual worlds? Altered Carbon is an exquisitely entertaining and intelligent sci-fi blockbuster series, albeit one just getting comfortable in its own sleeve. Altered Carbon releases on Netflix the 2nd of February. More, George Clooney reveals moment he met wife Amal on David Letterman's Netflix show. More, Joel Kinnaman hits back at lazy whitewashing claims over Netflix. Altered Carbon.